What a difference 2 weeks make. For round 4 of the Hyundai Heavy Industries British F1 Sidecar Championship in association with the Molson Group, we were sun-baked in Snetterton. Wonderful weather. Now 2 weeks later, we're here in Scotland at Knockhill, where the weather has really closed in. There's an old saying here, see the hill up there behind me? They say, when you can see the top of the hill, the weather's going to be fine and the sheep are up there. When the sheep come to the bottom, it's going to rain. I tell you, we can't even see the sheep, we can't even see the top of the hill. Added to that, there's been torrential rain all night. There is standing water all the way around the circuit in various parts, which means there's been no track action. It's 5 to 11 on qualifying day. We should by now have had 2 hours of action on the tarmac. However, hopefully the weather will clear up and we can get some racing underway. But going back to Snetterton, the track action was fantastic. We had 2 brilliant races. Ricky Stevens and Ryan Charlwood now lead the standings again by 22.5 points. Just have a look at the table as we come here to Knockhill. Let's hope we get round 5 underway. We're crossing our fingers for the weather. Look at the table. 110 points back in front, the Stevens-Charlwood AOS Beweiser Kawasaki pair ahead of Peach and Richardson. Kershaw's on home ground. He and Rob Wilson would love podiums here at Knockhill. Lovelock dropped 2 places after his debacle at Snetterton. He comes here in 4th. Gary Horspool riding strongly there. Reigning champion in 12th, Sean Hegarty hasn't even bothered to attend here. He's having a dismal, dismal season. Bang on cue, the weather cleared up for race 1 and the sun shone over Knockhill. Andy Peach and Charlie Richardson had grabbed pole position from Ricky Stevens and Charlwood, the series leader. Local boys, the Scots boys, 29, Kershaw and Wilson were in 3rd. In the Naughty Boys Club, however, at the back of the grid, Roger Lovelock and Aki Alto, part of their penalty for their misdemeanors at Snetterton, they were forced to fight through from the back, but already Ricky Stevens got the better of a hard-charging Tony Brown and Ashley Hawes. The Paymundo.com pair flew out, but they were soon dropping back down the order. They succumbed to pressure from Steve Kershaw and Rob Wilson. The local Express Tyre sponsored team going well, also flying the Finning Cat Kawasaki of Ben Holland and Lee Watson, making ground up through the order. They were soon on Kershaw's case, but scything through the field from the back, Lovelock and Alto really set about demolishing the opposition. They took about 2 outfits a lap as they carved their way through the field with moves like this. At the hairpin, the BMW crew were demons on the brakes. Ahead of them, Ian Guy and Danny Evanson, meanwhile retiring in pit lane. Not a good weekend again for Ben Bygrave with his stand-in passenger Stuart Clark, local Scotsman, formerly riding with Davey Ray. Kershaw Wilson, though, did everything they could to claim that podium position, but that was thwarted by the Holland and Watson pairing, who soon moved into 3rd place. There you could see the pit board of Kershaw. Steve-O, you are 4th, mate. Meanwhile, Lovelock and Alto, another notch on their pit post as they went through. All eyes, though, were on the battle at the front, and what a scrap it was. Peach had led almost towards the end of the race, but scything through on the inside. Ricky Stevens locking up his tyres going into the hairpin, and more tyre smoke as he spun the thing up. Meanwhile, Ian Drown, with an electronic gear change problem, was unable to downshift, collided with Ian Guy, tipping out Danny Evanson. It wasn't even rider error, it was a mechanical issue, but that put paid to Ian Guy's race. Firmly in 2nd now, though, the L&W contractors Kawasaki of Andy Peach and Charlie Richardson fought back to try and regain the lead, but among the tail-enders, those efforts were thwarted, and charging towards the flag, the Stevens-Charlwood pair on the Assured Office Solutions Beweiser Kawasaki took another victory, and here in Scotland, it was really, really sweet. A brilliant 3rd place for the Holland Watson Finning Cat. Local boys Kershaw Wilson just ahead of Lovelock and Alto. What a cracking race that was, and a good victory for the boys in yellow and black. There it is, Stevens, Peach, Holland, Kershaw, Lovelock from the back of the grid, sensational. Tony Brown slipped further down the order, but they claimed 10 points. He and Ashley Hawes for 6th, ahead of Horsebowl and Scott, Jimmy Connell. And there you can see the DNFs, 11th place, Martin Kirk and Ben Hughes. Ben Bygrave and Stuart Clark, they were absolutely flying in practice. His luck gets no better. AOSB Wiser's Ricky Stevens and Ryan Charlwood, that was a ding-dong race with Andy Peach, really, really good. He was on you at the end, but the back markers worked your advantage, I think.
Yeah, at the time I didn't think they were going to. I see plus nothing on the board in the last lap and back markers coming up, but they did their best, bless them. Got out of the way, and yeah, what a fight with Andy. It's going to be a long season with him, about, I tell you.
I tell you what, you two crews particularly are going really, really well now.
Yeah, I mean, full credit to Andy. He rode a stonking race. You know, I thought at one point it was going to be Snetterton relived, you know, where he just didn't make a mistake, and he very didn't. You know, they both rode amazingly, but you know, we just managed to nip past them in the hairpin, and fortunately, like you say, back markers played in our favour this time.
Well, race 2 coming to the line here at Knockhill in absolutely perfect weather conditions. And race 1 gave us all sorts of drama. We saw the fantastic battle between Ricky Stevens and Ryan Charlwood on the AOS B-Wiser Kawasaki, and Andy Peach and Charlie Richardson. What a scrap they had. Runners-up Andy Peach and Charlie down here. But further down the order, let's have a look across there at Roger Lovelock. Number 49, Roger Lovelock, came from the back of the grid to 5th place. He was really, really flying. Tony Brown over there, number 57. Tony Brown and Ashley Hawes had a race-long chain problem. We saw the Finning Kawasaki of Ben Holland and Lee Watson really charge up through the field. And Steve Kershaw, the local hero, had a misfire all through the race. So what I'm really saying is, a lot of these guys who didn't have it 100% in race 1 are really coming out fighting for race 2. And the weather is perfect. The Scottish fans love their racing, and at Knockhill, on a circuit where the legendary Jock Taylor cut his teeth on his way to a world title, they absolutely adore the F1 sidecars, and we have a race in prospect. Starting from pole position, Stevens and Charlwood look across to the left. Andy Peach there on the L&W Contractors Kawasaki, looking to go through the middle. Ben Holland and Lee Watson as the lights change. A better start this time for Tony Brown and Ashley Hawes. I remind you, they line up in the positions in which they finished the first race. Peach already hitting the front ahead of the pole position men, Stevens. Then it's Ben Holland. Is it another podium here for Ben Holland and Lee Watson? Looking good. Lovelock then in 5th place. Roger Lovelock having to start from the back of the grid, the green outfit, number 49, had a huge, huge problem at Snetterton. He was eliminated from both races. Through go Ian Guy and Danny Evanson. Ian Guy, rejuvenated, a vastly, vastly experienced competitor from Rochester, having ridden at Grand Prix and national level for so many years. 2015 is a good year for Ian Guy. On board then, looking back from the number 100 outfit of Stevens. And look at Tony Brown. Tony Brown, Paymundo.com with Ashley Hawes, number 57. Are they alongside? Yes, they are. They're ahead of Ben Holland. Ben Holland cuts back through. Oh, where? What? That was fantastic stuff from these guys. Both from the south of the country. Brown from Kent and Holland from Portsmouth. Lovelock having repaired his outfit after Snetterton with the help of Nigel Hogg, a benefactor and part sponsor, without whose help he wouldn't even be here. Lovelock then making the best advantage of that. He's by Tony Brown, moving up yet another place. Brown going backwards again on the Paymundo.com. Lovelock on the BB Bike Shop Phoenix BMW, the only BMW in the race. Gary Bryan and Jamie Wynn on the number 44 Santander Salt in there. 1.7 miles Knockhill. They get round so very quickly here. And through goes Brown again on Lovelock. Lovelock no fighting back. The BMW up the inside. Look how close they are. Lap record here, 51.783, held by reigning champion Sean Hegarty. He's not even here to defend his lap record or defend his championship. This weekend, Peach and Richardson. Andy Peach also in a rich vein of form, going strongly in the championship, second place in the table after race 1. You've got the rider's eye view here from Stevens and Charlton on the Assured Office Solutions B-Wiser Kawasaki. And he's hunting down Andy Peach, got him in his sights. Second place, says the board for Ricky. Here comes Ricky Stevens, out over the top of the hill into Dufferstit. This is adverse camber, 85, 90 miles an hour. Then down into Scotsman, the right-hander here. Round they go, round Scotsman. Andy Peach then now in second, but closing on Peach. It's the Finning Cat Kawasaki, so 3 Kawasaki's at the front. Oh no, and running strongly, but it's a retirement for Steve Kershaw and Rob Wilson on the Express Tyres. Blink Bonnie Quarry Kawasaki, not a good day for them, but they should still retain 4th place in the title chase. Meanwhile, behind them it's Lovelock and Tony Brown absolutely locked in it. Here though, Ian Guy behind Gary Bryan and Jamie Wynn on the Santander Salt. Kawasaki ahead of them, Gary Horsepole, Jimmy Connell, number 32. Horsepole, former F2 British champion, riding strongly now. Look at this battle for second place though. Ben Holland closing now on Andy Peach and going through on Andy Peach. So up to second goes the Finning Cat Kawasaki of Ben Holland and Lee Watson. The second half of the season for them is going to be absolutely brilliant. They found their form and they found their reliability. Welcome back to Knockhill, where there are scraps all the way down the field. This the battle for 7th place, and Gary Horsepole, Jimmy Connell being chased down now by Ian Guy and Danny Evanson, also L&W contractor sponsored. Up the inside of the hairpin they go. That is Ian Guy's favourite overtaking place. Gary Bryan there watching everything unfold, but Ben Bygrave and Stuart Clark, number 74 on the Blue Machinery Suzuki, having a brilliant ride. Retired in race 1, but they're putting it to good use now, their experience around Knockhill in race 2. Look at Ian Guy, the diminutive Ian Guy. He's not big in stature, but he's big in heart. Look how he rides. As I said earlier, out go local men Craig Nicol and Ralph Pride. So a bad day for them in race 2 at Knockhill. Meanwhile, at the front, it's daggers drawn between these guys. Similar ages, best of buddies, but there's no love lost on track. And look at this chase in 4th place. Tony Brown, Ashley Hawes, then Lovelock as well, looking every which way to redeem his misdemeanors at Snetterton and claw back some points. He was up to second in the table at one point before it all fell apart in Norfolk. But Lovelock, the vastly experienced 2009 British F1 champion, would love to get that #1 plate back again. And he's got every chance because the BMW is so quick. There they are. Lovelock, through he goes on Tony Brown at the hairpin. Gets it stopped, gets it turned, and he's away again. Lovelock then now up to 4th place. Ahead of him, Andy Peach, the only BMW in a whole bevy of Kawasaki's. In fact, the sole BMW in the race, the number 49 Green Machine. Tony Brown, whose regular passenger Sam Christie was injured at Snetterton. Ashley Hawes, of course, former world champion passenger, riding on the Paymundo.com Kawasaki, always ready to step in, vastly accomplished and fiercely competitive, loves to get a result. Ashley does not like being out of the top 3, I can tell you. So Tony Brown is getting his head down, looking backwards now from the race leaders, Ricky Stevens and Ryan Charlwood, and that is the gap. Behind them, it's the yellow and black Finning Kawasaki just coming into view as we approach the hairpin. This is how hard they brake. This is how tight they keep it. Any smoke from the rear wheel? Yes. Puffing of smoke from the rear wheel as they spin it up the straight, over the top there. It's about 130 miles an hour over the top, and the drop down to Dufferstit. We're at it now. Back 2 gears. Through here in 3rd. Flick it right, flick it left, passenger working hard. Down to the right-hander, the Scotsman. We're at that now, and they are supremely accomplished. What a bright future this pair have got. I was asked in recent days, in actual fact, if I thought there was any answer for the dominance of people like Tim Reeves and Ben Birchall, and the answer to that is a firm yes, and it comes in the form of Ricky Stevens, among others, the man at the lead of this race. On lap 11 then, of 15, Peach and Richardson coming under pressure now from the Lovelock Alto BMW, and he'll be looking for that overtaking opportunity at the hairpin, showing Peach the nose of the green bike. Nothing in it. This is an absolutely brilliant result for Ben Holland and Lee Watson. They are flying in second place, and this battle is about the final podium spot. Can Andy Peach hang on to third place here? He's under pressure. He's suffered a bit from tyre grip, or lack of tyre grip, in race one. Could well be, because Andy Peach is a hard rider and he does work the tyres extremely hard. Right on his case now though, Roger Lovelock, and he's up the inside. Not to miss an opportunity, Roger Lovelock. Has Andy Peach got the steam to steer back on the inside? No, he's in fourth. Lovelock then, third place now for Roger Lovelock. But now Andy Peach fighting back again. And who was that on the outside of the track? Another retirement. Using the track and more, Andy Peach. So, briefly, Roger Lovelock's spell ahead of Andy Peach. Peach has reclaimed it, I can tell you. Such is the standard of riding in this championship. The next round comes from Brands Hatch, where the boys are up against the World Championship runners in one race. Have they got a shock in store? I can tell you. Most of these guys will out-qualify the bulk of the World Championship entry. I almost guarantee it at Brands Hatch. Such is the speed and such is the standard of this Hyundai Heavy Industries British F1 Sidecar Championship. Just look at the way they ride. Ahead of Andy Peach, Ben Holland and Lee Watson riding with them now as they approach the hairpin. You can see the race leaders way out in front, and round they go. Oh, listen, has he missed a gear? He's got a problem, is that? Oh dear me, a problem there. Gear shift problem for Ben Holland. He lost 2 places in one fell swoop, but he's still going. That was a gear downshift problem for sure, and it cost him dearly. Up into second place now, elevated to second place. Andy Peach and Charlie Richardson. He doesn't need a second beg calling, I can tell you. Give him the opportunity, he's through. Lovelock has gone with him. The big loser in that battle, Ben Holland, Lee Watson, who are still in fourth. But this battle now has drawn them closer to the race leader. Could it be that Ricky Stevens has spent his tyres? We're on the penultimate lap. Holland in the back of the picture, still going strongly. And past Peach goes Lovelock, round he goes, coming down to the hairpin, but sweeping round the outside. Andy Peach, he's got to keep it tight though. They've got 1 lap, 1.6 miles then of the Knockhill circuit to do, and Andy Peach is under enormous pressure from Roger Lovelock and Aki Alto. Charlie Richardson, a quick look over his shoulder, he can see, and Charlie Richardson so enthusiastic. He is a passenger who loves to win. Again, he's looking. Vastly experienced, this young man, having passengered around the Isle of Man TT as well, as indeed has Aki Alto, the Finnish passenger, chasing him in Roger Lovelock's outfit. Meanwhile, at the front, the Be-Wiser Assured Office Solutions Be-Wiser Kawasaki pair looking supreme here. But this battle is going to go all the way to the wire. Green bikes, both of them, L&W contractors versus BB Bike Shop BMW, and now it's now or never for Lovelock. Is he going to go in wide and try and get the BMW on the gas coming out of the hairpin? It's about the drive to the hill, over the top, the checkered flag. It's a double victory for Stevens and Charlwood. Who's going to get the verdict? And second place on the podium, it's Peach, but maintaining a strong fourth despite their problems, almost in the clutches of Tony Brown and Ashley Hawes, Ben Holland and Lee Watson. Bygrave and Stuart Clark on the Blue Machinery Suzuki get a strong finish as well, justly deserved, as Rod Robertson and Helen Dealey 1 lap adrift go over the line. There it is, 85.42 miles an hour. That took just over 13 minutes. What a race and what a circuit. 6 very, very happy guys, I can tell you. Brilliant stuff. Whew. Well, confirmation of that double victory then. There it is. Stevens, Peach and Lovelock. That's the podium. Holland, Brown, Bygrave's strong ride. That boy has got potential. He's just got to get his act together machinery-wise. Ian Guy, Danny Everson there strongly in 7th. Looking further down the order, Andy and Phil Sloan always finishing their races now. That's what it's all about. You've got to do it. You've got to be in it to win it. We've just seen a tooth and nail scrap for 2nd and 3rd, the 2 podium places between these guys. Stalwarts, vastly experienced, best of mates. First of all, Andy Peach, another strong battle, and this guy gave you some stick, didn't he?
Yeah, no, it pushed me all the way, and I had to regroup and come back at him, that's for sure. Yeah, he doesn't give up.
Chaz, tough round here?
It can be. It's you know, quite a twisty little circuit. You're always working, but once you get in the flow and you're in a battle, it goes by quite quickly then.
Roger, you came up here on the back foot. You had to start from the back of the grid yesterday, fought your way up to 5th, gave yourself a fighting chance today, and made the best of it.
Yeah, we certainly did. It was difficult yesterday, come through the pack like we did, but we made the most of it. We had a good set of tyres on. The bike was running well after the hard work we put in from Snetterton, because we had a nasty crash on it. But no, the race went extremely well. It was unfortunate for Ben going out, but fortunate for us that put us up to 3rd place. And at one time we did get past Andy, but you know what the old foxy is, he didn't let us carry on in that position, and he took it back. So 3rd is good enough for me today. Thank you.
3rd in the race, Aki, but also significantly 3rd now in the championship. So a good day's work.
Well, considering everything has happened for the last 10, 12 days, so I think it's maximum result for us. I mean, everything brand new bike. Not brand new, but fixed the best we could. So, you know, in the Warriors code, there's no surrender, you know.
Ricky and Ryan, double win, maximum points at Knockhill. It does not get better than that.
No, not for me, Barry. This is one of my bogey circuits, as I said earlier on, but to come here with a double this weekend, I'm over the moon. And it wasn't easy.
Andy Peach gave you a run, didn't he? Again, you know, he's fast for the first half of the race.
He is, yeah. He just always gets that thing off the line. You know, he does get better starts than us, and he's super consistent as well. So, you know, we had to pull a hard braking manoeuvre out in turn 1 to get him. But yeah, it seems like we kind of got a little bit of a gap together, and you know, it was good for us, really.
Over 30 points now, the gap. I think it's about 32.5. Are you thinking championship?
All the way, I'm always thinking championship, Barry, but I know how long the championship is and what can go at stake and what can happen. You know, Andy's had problems. We've had sleep problems, you know, it's going to come around and go all the time, so never take my finger off the gas, got to keep going.
Good boy.
Thank you.
Mate.
Keep going, 160 now, bigger gap, but Peach strongly there. Lovelock regains 3rd ahead of Kershaw, who had a pretty poor afternoon here, bad luck for them. Holland and Watson getting stronger all the time. Tony Brown there, Sam Christie hopefully will be back soon after injury. Further down the order, just look at Sean Hegarty in 14th place. It'll be interesting to see if he turns up at Brands Hatch for the next round. Bygrave, that position does not reflect his ability. The Scottish fans up here have given us a fantastic welcome at Knockhill for these 2 races. Brilliant, brilliant results. The next round comes about 500 miles south of here, back at Brands Hatch for round 6 of this fantastic championship. I'm looking forward to it. It's only in 2 weeks' time. Don't miss it, whatever else you do.